Hello, everyone. What a movie! I believe the filmmaker we have here, James. James, are you here? Here we go. Please welcome James to the stage.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Well, congratulations once again. And is someone else coming up?
Yeah, are you guys okay if I bring my dad up? All right, well, this should be very interesting. It's my dad's first time seeing the movie. He hadn't read the script. This is literally his first time seeing it. How was that for you?
Cringing. It was tough. It was tough. It was tougher to wait to see it. I'm here with my wife Pam, and who's sitting right next to my ex-wife Deborah. So
I'm on.
that was tough too. No. So I don't know. Last night I was thinking about Here Now and thinking of movies like The Green Mile. You know, when they're waiting to get executed.
Okay.
And another pleasant thoughts like that.
Okay.
But maybe there's some cue questions or whatever.
I'll ask one or two, and then we'll throw it to the audience.
That sounds good.
One question I have for you, I think, is I believe this is, we know this is based or inspired on a true story, but I don't know if you could give us some insight into how much of it is true.
Yeah. It comes from a kernel of truth, and I want to leave it a little bit ambiguous, but probably more than I wish. More than I wish is how I'll leave it. Yeah.
Definitely. And then another question I had before I throw it to the audience is how did Patton become involved to play your dad?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of Patton's for such a long time, and as I was writing, he was just always in my mind. He just has such a heart, and I feel like this story needed that heart in order for us to go along with the dad's character, and to be by his side the whole time. And so I sent him the script, and he was into it, and we jumped in together to make this thing.
Yeah, his performance was incredible in it. So yeah. Well, I think now let's throw it to the audience. I assume we have audience questions. I will once you say it, I'll repeat it back with my microphone so everyone can hear it. But yes, right here.
I know we're all in a joking mood, but I just want to congratulate you both for being here because that's so open and vulnerable. And I know it took me 5 years to understand my dad overseas. So I don't know your reasons, but I really just congratulations for being there. This is very vulnerable and a really special thing. My question is actually about funding and how you got it, because it's such a unique and interesting story, but it's also so weird. Did you have setbacks? How?
Such a great question. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely like a weird story, and so you have to find, I found the right people that got it, and I feel like a lot of people here really got it, and I love you for that. And so it's about, I found partners that saw what I was seeing and got that kind of push and pull of the story and the heart behind this weird thing, and that's what attracted me personally to the concept in the first place, was just somebody doing the wrong thing for the right reason of he just loves his son and wants to make sure he's okay,
No, I do love my son, and that's the title of my next movie. But this time I'm going to have Pat Oswalt play his part.
You should reach out to him about that.
No, but I do love James very, very much, and I am so proud of him. I was very nervous before this, but I was like, oh my God, he wrote a great. There's so much great writing, and the movie has done so well. And every time you guys laughed, I was laughing and feeling so proud of him and feeling so grateful that he's done so great, and that I hope that this movie does really well, as it has already. But I mean, outside of Austin, yeah.
All right. Any?
Am I talking too long?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Do we have any more audience
This is
questions?
so fucking weird. This is so fucking weird. This was an experiment. I mean, and I feel like it's
It's
going,
surreal.
It's going
It
pretty
is
well.
surreal.
So I think it's-
Right here.
I have obvious questions, but I'm going to leave those to the wayside. But the biggest question that I really liked, I guess maybe that will pertain, what gave you the idea to kind of show text messages the way it is, like have the character there? It led to some very...
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, dude.
So,
yeah.
real quick, the question was about the text messages and having the characters there in the room and what led him to do that creatively.
I mean, guys, we're on our phones constantly. Like I feel like we're all addicted to our phones, and we're all just there. At least I am just there all day long. And so the last thing any of us want to do is like come see a movie and just be staring at texts. Like we want something to take us out of that. And I feel like when we're texting somebody, they feel like they're right there. It really feels like you get a real like you're like experiencing the essence of that person, and so much of that is just projection. You're just imagining how they would say that certain thing or what they're thinking at each moment. And so to embody that gave us a way to make it feel cinematic as well. This is a great question. Thank you.
I can't see, but yes, right there.
Where's it going from here? How do we tell our friends to see it? Are you going to be online, or are you going to be in theaters?
The question is, where is it going from here? Is it going to be online in theaters, and how can other people see this movie that I assume everyone will want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we're figuring that out right now. I think that winning the grand jury prize is definitely going to help us a lot on that front. And so, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, next question, right here.
Sorry, I have to ask the obvious question. How did you find out your dad was your girlfriend?
Well,
The question is, how did he find out that his dad was his girlfriend?
do we want to go into this? Do we want to talk about the therapy?
I mean, I'll confess. So I play this. I play this. That question and the obvious question of was it true many times in my head, and I'm not gonna go through. Dissect
I'll help you,
everything.
I'll help you.
No, just let me get to the. I will say the catfish, which was a word I never knew before, but I guess I invented it. That's true. At the time, James was about 16 or so, and so before that, I was driving him everywhere. I go to Deborah's house, pick him up, and do all that. But then when he went to high school, he started hanging out with all these older kids, so he didn't need me to drive him around anymore. So I didn't get to see him as much as I used to, and it's hard for those of us who are divorced, both male and female, to keep in touch with your kids. So I had this brilliant idea, which made him famous, I did. I created a profile, and back then the Facebook was really young. I mean, there wasn't any of this, stuff that we hear now. But so my idea was to have a window into his life.
Okay,
So
basically, I'll jump in. We
Yeah.
went to therapy, and he was talking a lot about trust. And I had printed out a page that where it was clearly him, and I like slammed it down. It was like
That was a slam dunk.
that was, yeah, okay. You got this
Okay.
guy right.
All right here.
What would you credit the success of directing and acting, like directing yourself? What was the most helpful thing for you in that situation?
Yeah, it's a great question, man. I mean, dude, it was really tricky to do. I was like, yeah, that'll be hard, but then it was like really hard because I'm playing somebody that's really emotionally shut down and really kind of like closed off. And that's the last thing you want your director to be, you know? So I was having to go from that to like, all right, great, da, da, da. And I was having to go like, no, to like, okay, guys, I think we got that one. Let's move on. You know, it's tricky to, and you get this emotional whiplash. For me, it was like knowing that it was going to be a challenge. So we rehearsed a lot ahead of time. I worked really closely with my team to storyboard most of the film ahead of time. It was like, how can we free up as much creative space as possible so that when on the day we can really just commit to what's happening in front of us. Yeah, thanks, man.
I definitely see someone up here, so let's go with that.
Hi, I really want to ask, because obviously this is like a very emotional experience for you, but at what point in your life or did you feel okay writing a script and sharing it when people that you know?
Yeah, it's a really cool question.
The question was, when did he feel comfortable writing the script and sharing it with people because it is such a personal story and comes from a personal place?
Yeah, I don't know. I was a therapist told me one time you should write a story about your relationship with your dad, and I don't talk to that therapist anymore. No, and I don't know. I feel like culturally a lot we're very at odds with one another right now. We're really not seeing one another, and that was just like that. Really, it just like it's. I don't know. I think it's painful for all of us to experience this disconnect with one another. So I felt like this was a good like metaphor for like seeing and like connecting with one another. And I also I wrote it to try to understand my dad better and to try to get into his head and to try to like so that I could connect with him more, and so that I could empathetically see things from his perspective. Yeah, I think it probably happened a few years, 3 or 4 years. I mean, it happened kind of gradually that I was like, oh, this is the story. This is my jam. I want to do this. You know.
I think let's go right here.
So this is actually a question for your dad, and it's been too personal, obviously, no worries. I myself had an issue for like a decade with lying, and I don't know, obviously, how much of this is true, but if there was a part of that that was true, and if like that has changed, I'm wondering what helped you stop.
I think it's a really cool question. I don't want to
I'm gonna
answer.
say I never lie.
He never lies. Yeah, that's a cool question. Let's talk afterwards about that. Yeah.
Right here, yes, sir.
It's regarding casting. Patty was great, but I was blown away by Rachel Dratch. Yeah.
She's great. She's amazing.
Casting, the chemistry between them was phenomenal. And the other question I have is, what else has your father done that might inspire perhaps your next film?
Man.
There's two questions. So it was the first one was about the casting of Rachel and how great her performance was, and then the second one was what else has his dad done that might inspire his next film?
Yeah, thanks for your words on Rachel. I think she's incredible in the film. I think Lil Rel is incredible. I wanted to surround. I think Ricky Velez is incredible. Claudia Salewski. I wanted to surround this. This could be a really dark story, and so I wanted these really light personalities, these stand-ups and comedians, to be able to bring this levity to it and find that angle so that, you know, as an audience, we're never dragged too far down. We have like a voice in the room, the thing that we're all thinking, being like, yo, like, this is fucked up. This is creepy as fuck. And like, it's like, it keeps us on track of going, okay, we're in safe hands. So that was my thinking there. In terms of other stories between, I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll give him a few more months, and maybe we'll maybe I've got something coming my way.
I think we have time for just one more question, and then that'll be it. But yes, ma'am, right here.
Yeah, I just want to know like more about like how you got your funding and like the story, like how you got here
Oh, thank you so much.
The question was about how we got the funding and basically how he got here today to be here on stage with us.
Yeah, it's such a tricky question to answer because it's just been I've been working towards this my whole life. I mean, my dad is the one that taught me how to use a video camera. I mean, those home videos you saw at the end, those were all shot by my dad, and he and I would make little movies with action figures. So I've been like obsessively pursuing this for decades at this point. In terms of, and I've gotten so much help. I mean, I'm lucky, I've gotten a lot of help. Like, I think anytime someone's like, I did this on my own, it's like, you didn't. Like, I'm lucky with the position I've found myself in throughout a lot of different moments in life. And then I guess in terms of my attitude around it, it's just I've been like willing to learn and grow and fail. I mean, I've been willing to fail a lot, and I came up as an actor, so I was willing to get rejected a lot and still keep showing up. And I think that's what I would suggest to anybody is just like fail forward and just take risks and just try to, not let it mess with your head. But yeah.
I think that was a perfect way to end this Q&A. Please, another round of applause.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.